How are you, mate?
A bit better, but getting there slowly but surely. I'm waiting for the medical team to turn up, but then fucking we just have to get on with it, won't we?
It's been a while since the general world has really heard from you. It's been a couple of years, I would say, really.
Yeah, really, yeah. Well, I'm constantly on tour up till 2015, and both my knees had given out. A bit of wear and tear, a few motorbike accidents here and there, and whatever. And I finished a couple of shows off over in Japan and in Argentina, and I had to use a wheelchair here and there and sit down a couple of shows and that. And I felt very, very ill. I can tell you the exact date. It was May the 5th, 2015. I was coming back from Argentina on British Airways flight, and everyone's going to me, "Oh, you all right?" All the stewards and everything. And I'm going, "Yeah, I was getting annoyed with him. Oh, fuck off, leave me alone." And I got back to my house, and within about 10 minutes of getting home, I just collapsed on the floor. It was unbelievable. I had the phone with me, lucky enough, and I called up an ambulance and just passed out. They kicked my door down, took me to hospital. I was dying of sepsis.
Where did that come from?
Sepsis is it's a blood infection, isn't it? Apparently, I had an impacted tooth and didn't know nothing about it. I never had toothache or nothing. And you can catch all sorts of weird and wonderful things in South America, can't you? No, you can catch it anywhere. But so I ended up getting really ill. So I ended up 8 months in hospital because there's a 45 minutes. I mean, you can get sepsis and it's sort of slow. So you've got it, and then you're on like loads of medication. Or when you've got it really severe, like me, you've got 45 minutes to get to the hospital, and they pump you full of antibiotics, and it basically saves your life. And then they've just got to treat you for ages. So I spent 8 months in hospital there. And then another 3 months in a care home. Came out about 2.5 years ago, or 2 years ago. And it's taken this long, and I can't have my knees operated on until your sepsis completely sepsis free. But it's all fucking me around, and it's pissing me off. And I've had one knee on my right leg removed, and a piece of cement in there at the moment.
The reason we're chatting today really is because you got a live album coming out, so you're obviously thinking about work again.
Fucking no, I ain't ready to retire, no. Well, you got kids, mate, you never got enough money. There's plans ahead, there's loads of stuff to do, and I'm being offered work, left, right and centre. It's just that I can't do any of it at the moment. So everything's on hold, it's in limbo, and it's quite frustrating. You really get pissed off, but this live album, this Hello for Waltrop thing, we did this fucking years ago. Quite a good show, actually. Remember that, because it was really, really not what we're used to doing. Because they had all sorts of pop people on there as well, whatever the fuck they were. Like sort of pop fans on there. People like, I never heard this bloke before in my life, Sidney Youngblood, whoever the fuck he is, and a few other sort of odds and sods there, and we're like, oh, hang on a minute. So we thought, this could be a bit of a hostile audience. There were quite a few metal fans there as well. We went out and crushed it. And I thought, that's all right. But the thing is, the recording was so bad, like on stage sound anyway, because our monitor man was a fucking idiot, apparently. My out front guy, Thomas, he found the tapes recently, and he called me up and sort of said, "What do you reckon?" He said, "I've done some work on this. Have a listen to this." I heard 1 or 2 tracks, and I thought, this is great. It sounds all right. It's rough, it's raw, there's no overdubs on it, and he managed to clean it up. I said, "What should we do with it?" And I thought, right, it would be a good stopgap.
Around that same period, Maiden were out on the road doing the Early Days tour. I mean, did you see any footage of that? Bruce doing Innocent Exile and stuff like that? Was it nice for you to see them really focusing on that era?
I didn't think about it, to be quite honest with you. I was too busy doing my own things. I'm a bit annoyed because this is down to promoters more than anything else. They want you to sort of play a top sort of every sort of Maiden set. And I thought, hang on, what's my fucking songs in? Chopped Liver, they don't count for anything.
Yeah.
I was quite angry, but my management at the time was booking them in, and I'm like, oh God. And I'm like, hang on a minute, I'll be coming like the ultimate fucking covers band. And I thought, fuck that. So, things have all got to change a bit now, but it comes to something when your own fans are coming up to you saying to me, "Oh, for fuck's sake, stop playing the Maiden stuff and do some of your own." But now, I'm in control since I've got all the management and everything now. So.
One of the albums I remember coming out, I was listening to one of the tracks yesterday again, and it's definitely got a nod to Pantera in there in places.
Yeah, which was a bit heavier, was the Society album. That was just a bit of frustration coming out there. I write how I feel at the time, so you never know. If I feel all fucking drippy and stupid one day, you might end up with an album full of love songs. But otherwise, it's how I feel at the time, and that I was a bit angry with our previous record company, which was BMG. The Killers Murder 1 album came out, and we done so well for them, and for us, because that fucking sold us huge amounts, and it was like number one every college playlist and everything, but we just couldn't get on with what they wanted us to do. And I don't know what it is about record companies. They make you change. You have like a hit record, and then they try to sort of change it to get into the charts. We weren't going to sacrifice anything with that, so we sort of fell out with the record company and left, and then joined up with the other lot and recorded Menace, which I'm really happy with. I like that album.
I want to go back to where you started with Maiden, and I want to start with the Soundhouse tapes, because there's been a bit of debate about the second guitarist. Now, apparently Paul Kearns played on that, but he wasn't credited. Obviously, you were there in the room when that was being recorded. Was he there?
He was on it, yeah, he did, yeah. He did play on it.
And why was he not credited? Is there a falling out? Did he leave the band?
I don't really know that bit, to be honest with you. I'm not playing stupid on it either. He was in the band 1 minute and out the next, as far as I know. But then again, there was a lot of people could have done that. I really don't know. I think he was like in the band for the time of the recording, but there was other. I think Steve had a plan for somebody else, which became Dennis in the end, didn't it?
What was it like recording it? Do you remember recording your vocals? How you felt about it?
I fucking hell no, I didn't have a clue. I've never done anything like that before. That's rehearsed and everything, and never made a record at all at the time, so I was all sort of a bit bewildered, and I was getting annoyed. Because I hate studios, I really do. I don't like them at all, and I want to get it all over and done with as quickly as possible. But obviously, the engineers going, no, go and try again, do it again. I'm like, oh, fuck, and that was about it. So it sort of passed me by really quickly because I was a bit overwhelmed and bewildered by it all. But I think our biggest worry was where the hell we was going to stay that night after, because it was too late to get back home and we had nowhere to stay.
And then you go in to record the first album with Will Malone. Now, obviously, Steve Harris isn't happy with the sound of that. I'm guessing
he's not the only one. I love the songs, can't stand a fucking recording of it though.
What is it you dislike about it?
The overall thing itself is like the songs are fantastic. To make it do it any justice, it would have to be re-recorded, not remastered.
Yeah,
re-recorded. Because of Will Malone, I think he was fucking Mike Oldfield's Triangle fucking engineer or something. Oh God, it pissed me off because it really lacks. It doesn't put them songs as forward. Oh, how can you put like painting the picture? It doesn't give it its full glory because that album, the songs on there are absolutely fucking stonking. As a first album, it was brilliant, but as I said, the production just let it down.
Where were you when you first heard it?
In the control room, obviously. So then it sounded all right then. Is when it's pressed, mastered, and put out. And I think we had a first listening to it up at EMI, if I remember rightly. And I think we was all a bit too excited. I think it was all in the cold light of day a couple of days afterwards. And I thought, production's not that great, is it? It was too late to do anything about it then.
You go on and you have a number 4 album, I believe, in the UK. You must have thought, this is amazing.
Well, it was a bit. And I remember Rod Small would come out. We were on tour somewhere. I think we just met up with Saxon somewhere along on the motorway somewhere. Had a cup of tea with him. And we was going north and he was going south. And we sort of ended up somewhere in Yorkshire and that. And Rod come into the dressing room and sort of said, hey, we're coming at number 4. We went, what the fuck, Believe it. It was amazing.
What did you think of the cover artwork the first time you saw that?
Me and Steve looked at it and we thought, oh, this is great. I said to him, I said, can you imagine in a record shop when you're going through the vine and that one just jumps right out of your face? Yeah, it does, doesn't it? So we decided to keep it. And if I remember rightly, I was the one who nicknamed it Eddie, the Ed, because we kept saying, oh, it's an Ed, like, look at this Ed, so we called it Eddie in the end. It's brilliant. I love it. Derek's artwork was fantastic.
You had a couple of songwriting credits on there. You had Remember Tomorrow and Running Free.
Running Free.
Is it nice for you to have your name properly stamped on them albums?
Yeah, it is. It comes to something, because, these two, the first 2 albums are absolutely pivotal in Maiden's career. Obviously they've gone on and done a lot better and bigger things as well, which is absolutely fantastic. But mate, it's great when you've got your peers coming up to you, sort of people in bands like Pantera, Metallica, Sepultura, and the likes, all sort of saying, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have got into this. So it makes you proud.
In between the first album and Killers, you had Women in Uniform, which I know Steve Harris hates it. Was that a one-off session then? You just go and record that one track?
Well, they asked us if we'd do it because I think at the same time Skyhawks are on the same label as us, and I know Skyhawks. I don't think anyone else in the band ever knew them, but I've got family in that over in Australia and that, and I know them quite well. And it didn't really, I think it was a management and sort of Steve Harris and EMI sort of decision to do it. And I fucking hate the song as well, to be honest with you. I like it by Skyhawks, I don't like it by us. But and I tell you what, it's a bastard to sing live. It was a bit of a nightmare. But I think we played it live a couple of times. I remember playing, I think it was Reading University or something. We played it once, and sort of when Stephen and Cutler looked over each other, fucking hell,
It's a lost classic.
No, cheers, mate. No, we wasn't too happy about it, so it quickly got dropped. It's like people keep saying to me now, why don't you do Invasion, and why don't you do yada yada yada? I thought, I'm trying to get away with my heritage of Iron Maiden, and I'm very proud and very honoured to have been in the band and that. But I want to do my song.
I couldn't talk to you without talking about the Killers album. Now, the difference between the first album and Killers, obviously, there's a couple of factors. One is Martin Birch and amazing production. The other one's Adrian Smith. But I want to talk to you a little bit about the production. You must prefer that album. You must think, yes, we finally got it on Killers.
Yeah, I do. I wish Martin had produced the first album, I must admit. But as I said, what's done is done there, and that's one of those things. It's so sad because I still think that the first album, the songs are much stronger. Second album, though, it depends. Some fans that sort of split down the middle with that one. You know what I mean? I wrote Killers with Steve as well. Didn't get any more songs on there actually because it was sort of pretty much taken over by Steve and that. Then having Adrian in the band was absolutely brilliant. It was a godsend because him and Dave Murray had played together in other bands back in the East End. He was brilliant. And as I said, him and Dave, they played as a two guitar partnership in Urchin and other things like that, and played in other bands and grew up together. Because we were both from Hackney sort of thing in East London. So yeah, it was all right.
Do you think that his coming in was key? Do you think it would have been a very different album had Dennis or someone else played on it?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I don't know how, slight musical difference, I suppose. Sound difference, I suppose, with the guitar sounds, Dave's got his sound down pat and it's there. Dennis and Dave's, it was good together, actually, to be honest with you. Dave and Adrian's sound is just perfect, for Maiden.
You were talking about songs that are really hard to sing. I would imagine, I can't believe this song was left off the album, but Twilight Zone.
That's another one I can't stand doing.
Is that because of the height of it, or you just don't like it?
That's not the height of it. I ain't got a problem doing it, I know. Still, even today, I've got a problem with that. No, you got to pace yourself. Recording it's fine, but when you're doing nights a week, 2 hours a night singing, it can suffer a little bit because you can't get enough breath in there.
Yeah.
Steve's a rotten bastard when he writes songs like that.
Another song that I really love on that album is Prodigal Son. What do you remember about recording that one?
I'll tell you what baffled me when we first doing that album, doing that song, was I kept asking, who the fuck's Lamia? I didn't know who it was. I had to go and read up on it, and it was quite interesting. Yeah, Steve comes up with some bleeding great songs and fantastic ideas. He's right out there sometimes, that boy. But, I enjoyed singing that as well. I can sing a good sort of ballady, slow thing quite well, I've been told, apparently.
Obviously, you and the band parted ways.
Yep.
Every story you read, it's a different version. You asked yourself out of the band, there was a conversation, you were having a few problems with substances. What way did it happen?
Oh, no. I'll tell you what it was. I wasn't, as I said, the second album, I liked the album and like it a lot, but it didn't have as much impact on me as the first album. And some of the songs in there are just sort of, and I couldn't give 100% of myself, which was not fair on the band, on the fans, on me. And yeah, I was trying to find other ways of sort of making it exciting for me when I was on the road. And yeah, there was a few problems, a little bit, a little bit of cocaine now and again. And yeah, it wasn't as bad as what most people fucking say, but there was nothing like that. But no, I really, all it is at the end of the day, is you've got such a fantastic working machine like Iron Maiden. One little cog goes a bit wrong, the whole thing falls a bit. And I wasn't prepared for Maiden to go through that, or I wasn't prepared for me to go through it as well. So I sort of mentioned that I was unhappy, we had a little chat and all that, and that was it. We all sort of parted ways amicably.
Clearly, you've left an indelible mark. People love those albums, so you must be incredibly proud.
Very, very much so. I still am as a bad today because they're still soldiering on, and especially some countries around the world, they build you up to knock you down again and stuff like that. And England's one of the biggest ones of that. Maiden stay constant around the world. So we've got this, some albums ain't as great as the others and that, but then again, what do you expect? Most bands are like that. It's quite high quality always, which is really good. And this last show they've done has been fantastic.
I've got to ask, have you seen the band live? Have you been in the room and seen them live since?
I see them on the first time Bruce sang with them. I took my mum. We had to leave her. They kept shouting out for me. And I thought, no, I ain't having all that. So we left early. But on this last tour they've just done, Steve was fantastic because my wife and my boy over in the States wanted to go and see the show. And I got hold of Loopy and he got hold of Steve for me. And Steve gave them VIP parties backstage, went out and met my wife Maria and my son Christian. And she put him on FaceTime with me. So this is great. So we had a little chat, and we got, as soon as I'm up and got myself together again, we're going to meet up, take him out for a drink and a dinner and that. So, yeah, because he was really kind. That was really good of him.
Tell you what, that is a beautiful note to end it on. That's really nice. It's nice that things have come full circle.
Yeah, I'm really pleased. I'll tell you what, one of the saddest days in my life will be when Maiden stop. Indirectly, with me as well, how much joy the fans get of hearing Maiden songs, whether it's done by me or done by Maiden and that, live around the world. I can attest to that. They are absolutely awesome, and it brings so much joy to them. I don't want them to see that stop. I mean, it's going to have to at some stage, isn't it? But I hope it's not for quite some years yet.